Pardesi Beats.
What's up, everybody? You're tuned in to Pardesi Beats Unplugged. Welcome into today's episode. With August coming to a close, it kind of tells that summer is also coming to a close. So in today's episode, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and we're talking about our favorite summer treats. I guess in Alberta specifically, but I guess all across the world, their temperatures have been very, very hot. You can kind of tell with cushy, sun's out, guns out, but today we'll be talking about our favorite summer treats, what we remember from our childhood, and what our go-to way to keep cool is in terms of treats. I am M. Tidwal. With me today. We have Kushwant Singh and the one and only but the one Singh. How's it going, boys?
Good, man.
Good, dude. I'm excited about today's convo. It invokes the inner fat ass, of course. So obviously we go down memory lane with like childhood memories too. So like that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good episode for sure.
The original conception of this episode was to do a draft just so we can call it the Kulfi draft. I thought it'd be really funny, but anyways, those of you who don't know what a Kulfi is, that's just a popsicle in Punjabi. But let's jump into it. There's so many different things that come to mind when we think of summer treats. We think of popsicles, we think of sweet, we think of savory, we think of chocolate, we think of whatever else. We also think of drinks. And I guess I'll jump right into it. The first thing that I think of when I think of summer treats or like drinks that keep me warm, apparently this is not a really common thing in other cultures, but I know in our culture it's a very common thing. We call it dud coke, so milk and coke.
Soda,
yeah. And we can get into it because I absolutely hate dud soda. Like dud soda, Roo Hafza, like get that out of here. Like dud coke, that's it. That's all I want.
It was an attempt.
It
was like an attempted thing when I guess Punjabi people came to Canada to try to get those Roo Hafza type of flavors going. I think.
Yeah, and so like, Roo Hafza is like, I think, what's the English word? Sherbet.
No, I think it's still different.
Just like a syrup.
It's like a syrup that's really sweet. It's like pink in color.
Kind of rose water as well.
Yeah, like you put in water and milk. With milk, it's way better. And so that was like a pretty delicious drink. And then people like the dud soda is like cream soda essentially with mixed in with
I got
milk.
hooked on that. I think I got diabetes when I used to go to the Gurdwara in June when it was Chabil.
Yeah.
And that was all. It was just Roo Hafza. I remember helping doing Seva once.
Nagar Kirtans as well.
Just pouring it in, just dumping bottles of Roo Hafza into the mix. And secretly serving it and then saying, okay, I'm going to take a break. Taking like 3 cups, slamming them, going inside, washing my hands, coming back. And doing
that's why go ahead, sorry.
Doing that all the time. That's all I was going to say. Like every hour I'd do that cycle.
Yeah, that's why the Punjabi community has a higher chance of getting diabetes probably. Just solely because of Roo Hafza.
So much sugar intake. But I mean, you look at like mithai and stuff, right? It's just straight sugar in different forms.
Yeah, sugar, not
pretty much.
And butter.
Yeah, and then like the Coke is something I did too, actually. Yeah. And I liked it quite a bit. It was not as sweet, but it was still pretty good. Like I actually used Diet Coke. Yeah, I had a lot of that too. Actually, I totally forgot about it until you just said it.
Yeah. But, like I think, like you said, right, it invokes like these childhood memories. So I would remember like we'd get pizza every Friday, and they were like, okay, dud coke. Like this is pizza and dud coke. That's the way we started our weekend every weekend. And for me, that was like synonymous with summers. I'm not so much an aficionado of sweet stuff or pop or anything anymore. But like when I think of like treats and summer treats, that's definitely what comes to mind.
Yeah, I remember cream soda and dud, like the pop, the pink crush, cream soda and dud. That was okay. But then I started trying other cream sodas and discovering how disgusting it was. Mix carbonated beverages with milk.
with milk.
Yeah,
but the concept in general is weird.
It's odd. Yeah,
it's
definitely like we talk about it like it's a normal thing, but like you think of like other cultures, you bring it up, they're like, that doesn't sound very appealing. It definitely is. So exactly. If you haven't tried it,
to like anybody else, they're like, dude, what's wrong with you, dude?
No, but if you haven't tried it, 60% Dud, 40% Coke, you're good. You're good.
I was just gonna ask you, what's your perfect ratio? So there you go. Yeah. So anyone's curious and haven't tried it, like with Coke and Dud, which is milk. If we didn't already clarify, Dud equals milk. Mix those two together, and then let us know what you think. I'm honestly wondering because it'd be curious to see what kind of reactions people give if they.
We're like, oh, it's great if people just absolutely. Also, there's also the fear of like the milk like curdling though, so that was also a real fear sometimes.
I never feared that at all.
Yeah, it happened to me so many times.
I put Red Bull in a milky beverage before, and it's curdled.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen that video.
That's an Easter egg. If anybody knows, they know. If they don't know, they don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, cool. That's a good one to reminisce about. On the topic of drinks, like I don't know, like this is probably hands down my favorite summer drink. Like even like I found it like nowadays, it's like it vibes with me way more. It's just straight up old school lemonade.
Yeah.
Like it's also super nostalgic because like the lemonade stands, like 25 cents, like you set up your lemonade and you would sell it, or Orange Tang or something, right? For like you're a young entrepreneur trying to make 25 cents per cup or whatever, 5 cents. So like that's like a huge thing, like a memory lane too. But yeah, like lemonade, it's just so freaking refreshing. Yeah. So like that's like a go-to now. And like when I was younger, not so much, but like nowadays it's like boom, that hits on a nice summer day if you're out.
That's your old age showing now. That's what's happening.
Yes, it's the infinite wisdom.
It's the Simpsons meme of the old man sitting under the lemon tree telling stories.
Yeah. On my day, we used to sell lemonade at the stand.
No, I think that's definitely a good one. Like straight up like lemonade, not like iced tea or that's just like lemonade. Definitely hits the spot.
Iced tea's like year round, so it has to be lemonade.
Yeah. How sour though? That's the question.
Just a hint. Just a hint.
Yeah.
Sour is like you needed a bit sour for sure. But then obviously like the worst thing about like lemonades is that people put too much sugar. Like and then that like kills it. Then it's like why do I want this? But like having it sour is obviously it's pretty nice, but you definitely want a good amount of lemon flavor because then that's like the refreshing part, obviously. So
lemon.
It's tough to always, it's like tough to find like a good balance.
If you guys,
because like different.
Just to jump in, if you really want the authentic Punjabi version of it, it's called skanjavi, and you gotta get that.
Yeah,
and drink
that. Definitely hits us. That definitely hits a spot too.
It does hit the spot.
It's a different spot, but it definitely hits a spot.
It's definitely a different spot.
Yeah,
it's the same spot as like the Ruh Afza, which we don't.
It's in that spectrum. I wouldn't say it's the same spot. It's like a middle ground.
No, yeah. I think it's interesting, like just from my perspective, it's like we have like the desi drinks like Ruh Afza, Skanjavi, but then we have like Dod soda and like even like Kool-Aid and lemonade, stuff like that, right? It's like that's a totally different perspective. It's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I got some gems for you guys that might be out of your time, or it might be out of also. I'll leave it at that. So I've got some gems that I won't spoil.
I mean, you just drop a gem.
Well, go ahead. Drop one of them right now.
Drop one of them right now. Should I start with... okay, I'll start with my junior high. There used to be this drink called Tahiti Treat. Okay? It was like this... It was in a can, so it was like a pop, but it was called Tahiti Treat. And it was this like tropical punch type of pop on the spectrum of like a grape drink. It was like a Hawaiian punch, but Tahiti Treat. That's what it was called. And so that's one gem that I had from my childhood. I used to drink that winter, summer.
Was it like those little silver shiny pack ones?
In a can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, pouches only came around during our childhood. Kush, I think pouches didn't really exist.
Before, did they? Kool-Aid had them, but in my time, but
yeah, but like rare.
They were there. They also had these I'll talk about that whole spectrum of things later. But there was this other type of punch pouch that was like you had that straw and you punched it through the pouch, and it was like
and you can never punch the pouch, so then you would get a hole in it, and then it just became.
No, that one was fine, but it was grape flavored, but it was clear, which really disturbed me at that age. But yeah, I'm talking like up to grade 2. So, anyways, let's talk some more.
How is this possible?
Grape is purple. Why?
Grape is purple. Yeah,
because it was purple grape flavor, not the white grape flavored or green.
Okay.
But yeah, no.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna drop my all-time favorite still to this day. If I have any chocolate or ice cream treat, this is my go-to. And if there's a box of these, I will finish this completely without thinking twice. Is ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah, that's so freaking good.
Like and now like I haven't tried these, but they look even better. Like the cookie sandwiches, like you have
the
2
Oreo
cookies
ones.
in the ice cream. Whatever it is. No, like they have legit like full cookies and they put ice cream in the middle. That's pretty common now. I've never tried one, but I feel like that's
those like the
my
chocolate.
kryptonite. Yeah. But like the thing with ice cream sandwiches was like the cookie part was absolutely terrible, but like we still loved it. Like it would get stuck on the wrapper, it would get stuck on your fingers. But we're like, no, this is great. It's like the cheapest ice cream.
Cold and seeped through.
I like the cookie part a lot.
I don't know. It was always like sticky and like it's just never like whatever. I get.
Yeah,
like,
I like the Oreo one. You guys ever tried
they were
that?
addictive. No.
Oreo cookie ice cream.
Yeah, I've had it like a couple times. That one.
I used insane. That's insanity. Try that.
Yeah, those were good for sure. And then like even with the just normal ice cream sandwich, like I'll still have them to this day. Yeah. Like they're so they're just such a classic.
Those are rectangle. There's these new ones that are square, and then the chocolate wafer or the cookie part is thicker now, and it's so good. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah,
we should have just brought a box
honestly.
Those.
Yeah, I know we made a mistake because now it's just like, yo, what am I gonna do after we're done recording? Is trying to like find.
We're gonna go to 7-Eleven.
Yeah, just be like, hey, what could I get? Yeah, that one's pretty good. Like you switch to ice cream. Like ice cream is super tough because like
there's so much.
There's so many good ones, but I don't know. This one hits home in terms of nostalgia for me, but like after Taekwondo, which I think we
shout out to Master J Park
together. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Champion Taekwondo with Master J Park. I don't know if he's still teaching.
Melbourne Mall. They used to have a Dairy Queen in there, and then so like afterwards, like we would get taken to the Dairy Queen there, just get a classic cone dipped in ice cream, in chocolate. A classic Dairy Queen cone dipped in chocolate. So freaking good, man. And it was always cool to watch the guys at DQ just be like, oh, here's your ice cream upside down. It doesn't fall. You're like, whoa, oh my God.
As a kid, I never actually had Dairy Queen or like Blizzards or anything like that. It was always like McDonald's ice cream. But recently, shout out to MH Photography. Whenever we go out, we always go to Dairy Queen. And like that's the first time in like the past year that I've seen them go, look at the ice cream. I'm like,
really?
Wow. Yeah. So
damn, man.
But very addictive.
Surprise.
Yeah.
No, it's still to this day. That's like probably the best fast food ice cream you can get. Yeah, like okay, then I have to like automatically transition that to like Blizzards because
Frosties.
Like, Frosties not on Blizzard level for me. That's like
not on the same level, but Frosties are sick. There's something else, but they're sick. Wendy's.
This is where I get weird. Because I'm not like a chocolate fan. So like
you can just leave the call now. Just leave.
But but they brought the vanilla Frosties, and then I was like, ooh, what's up? Ooh.
Do you remember McDonald's? So McDonald's soft serve is one of my favorites. But do you remember when they used to have the twist? So they had that was the best. That was wicked.
The best.
Yeah, Twist was pretty good, but I was like, I've always been a vanilla guy. Even with Twist out there, I still went vanilla.
I was a chocolate kid.
I think that's all you were allowed to have.
No.
Yeah, because you would eat all the chocolate. Or you.
No, you know what? There was a time where I don't know why, and me and Kush have the same parents, clearly, because we're brothers, in case nobody knows that. But there was a time, for some reason, I wasn't allowed to get the chocolate one. I don't know why. For the life of me, I wasn't allowed to get it. But it was only vanilla. And I think it was because I have allergies, right? So they were trying to be careful because sometimes chocolate, and they knew about the vanilla and vanilla.
Or like Cushy probably threw like a fit somewhere and he's like, I don't want the chocolate. Then ever since then, they just to avoid Cushy's like temper tantrum, they're probably like just vanilla only.
That's probably maybe, but I do also remember having a lot of chocolate ice cream at home, or those, what were the Neapolitan, the strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate.
Yeah.
And
Neapolitan.
he would the chocolate would be left over, and I would be like, yes. He would just eat the rest and leave the chocolate parts, and I'd be like, I'm down. I don't care about vanilla. I just want chocolate and strawberry, and I just copped that.
I still do that.
Yeah, that was the
Some
best.
habits never leave.
We're kind of down this path, so I have a question then. Favorite ice cream flavor? So this would encompass like all potential flavors. I have one that's very specific, but
let's go.
Yeah, mine I already know too.
Yeah. So for me, this is also a nostalgia thing. I remember we would go to get groceries and I'd always get ice cream. And I remember this one time there was Simpsons ice cream. I'm a huge Simpsons fan. I'm like, I need to get this Simpsons ice cream. This is wicked. And it was cookie dough. Dough spelled DOH as in dough.
I like it.
Very clever. But ever since then, cookie dough ice cream is my go-to. If it's there, I will get it. So it's like vanilla essentially, but like a little bit more.
It's like more than vanilla because the cookie dough changes like the consistency. It's obviously a little bit more chewy and all that stuff. Yeah. Texture changes, and then obviously it's the total, just that taste is obviously different. So anytime you introduce like a flavor that has like chunks or pieces like chocolate chips or something, it dilutes into the ice cream and changes it too, right? So it's not like, it's a separate thing and then the ice cream around it. They kind of always mix in a little too, which is why with blizzards are always interesting because it's like your chocolate-based stuff make it a chocolatier ice cream, even though it's like a vanilla-based that they usually use. Weird kind of observation I've made, but mine is butterscotch ripple.
Wow, and very exotic.
And I always like tie that to those big 4-liter tubs because like that's what we would used to get, like whatever, right? Mom would bring that home or whoever, and then we would always bust that out on like occasion if there's something happening at the house.
Occasion being weekdays.
Come home from soccer practice.
That was the occasion. That was occasion later on for us when we were like, we have control of what we grab and put in our mouths now.
Yeah. The occasion was that it's in the freezer. For me,
those 4-liter, those 4-liter buckets were trouble. Like I remember we would just go through them like so quickly. No matter what flavor.
Used to finish one like in like a day, or even 2 days.
Yeah, we were.
I don't know how we did that, man, but we did that.
Yeah, you think back now, like that's a lot of ice cream and a lot of sugar.
When you're young and your body, works really well, doesn't punish you for the actions you make.
Metabolism.
Yeah, you could get away with a lot of this stuff, but not now.
No, not anymore. So I got a curveball for you guys. My favorite, it's kind of. So I have an era because I developed a milk allergy. So I haven't had any dairy products in the last, I would argue, 5 years, like maybe longer, right? 5-6 years. So, but before that, I used to eat dairy. Like I probably it was attached to me via IWE. So yeah, here's a curveball. Virka ice cream in the Ludhiana Virka plant heading east on GT Road into Ludhiana. From there, they had their ice cream with the little tubs of ice cream, the little cups with the wooden thing you would eat them. And this is in India, okay? So you're eating this in the heat. That ice cream. And it was a little bit of like, they came out with flavors later. Like they had pineapple, they had all these cool flavors. They had mango. It was so goddamn good. And, but even the regular vanilla, it was so good. And maybe it's the desi milk, maybe, I don't know what it is, but so
fresh
good.
Milk, baby.
So you remind something triggered in my brain when you said wooden spoon, and I think Kushi, you can talk to this.
Elementary school.
Like in elementary school, it was the worst ice cream, but like it was the best ice cream at the same time. because you're eating with a wooden spoon. It was like those like small like
those small
servings.
little cups.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
vanilla ice cream.
Peel off the lid of it.
Yeah, and then at the end, if you
cream.
sucked on the wooden spoon, you taste some ice cream that absorbed into the wood. Like legit. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, you got to clean it off, right? Yeah. And then you can taste the wood too. I was actually gonna say that I don't remember what brand that is though. Like, I don't remember it at all. Different brands. You know, yeah, like in that one I remember because like they were just cheap to get from like the little freezers. And then also like I don't know why I associate with this, but like if you were ever in the hospital, for whatever reason as a younger kid, if you needed like a dessert, they'd give you that little ice cream cup.
Yeah, or Jello.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Jello mixed with ice cream?
I honestly don't even like recall too many times myself doing that. I've mixed Jello with quite a few other things, but Jello goes with whatever, to be honest.
Yeah, but if we're sticking to the topic of summer treats, Jello is not refreshing. Like
I don't do it. I'd never really Jello is like whenever.
Yeah.
No, but just mixed with ice cream. That's all the question was.
It's good, but it's not like I'm not telling my friends you gotta do this one.
Cool. Okay. Right. So what other ones? Yeah. Okay, I'll tell you guys one here. This is nostalgia. Okay. So back in the day, when I was a little kid, I think around grade 3 or 4 for me, there used to be the ice cream truck guy that used to come around, and I think they were milk based, but there were these Ninja Turtle popsicle ice cream treats.
Yeah.
And for some reason that angers me, they used to put a nose on the Ninja Turtles, and the turtle had a bubblegum nose. I'm cool with the bubblegum, but Ninja Turtles don't have noses.
The funniest thing is like
that too.
It was like Ninja Turtles, there was like Sonic the Hedgehog, there was SpongeBob, but like they would never look like the character because it would just get melted.
It would be like
they were like deformed. It was like some creature from the wilderness or something you're looking at. And those ones are always more expensive. Those were like the $4 or $5 ones where you're like, yo, I only have like $1 or $2.
I remember
you get bubble gum with it, man. You can't as a kid. I was like, I got.
But I remember like
I was also the kid who never got an extra penny for anything. It's like, okay, you get maybe the bare minimum and that's it.
You know what the worst used to be? When you had about 70% of another ice cream worth of money left. So let's say the ice cream was $1 and you had 75 cents and you're like, let me see if I can find a quarter. And you'd go run back inside and try to get that quarter to get that extra ice cream because that's all you needed. So I used to find a $20 bill sometimes in my mom's car or purse or pocket. Find it, right? And so I'd run and I'd bolt with $20. I'd be like, I got $20. $20 in those days, man.
That's a lot of ice cream.
That's a lot of ice cream. I used to get like 4 Ninja Turtle ones and like maybe 2 other ones. And then I'd be like going inside and I'd eat them all that day. It'd be a crazy time, man. Those were the days, the ice cream trucks. Do you guys remember the guy or girl who used to roll up on that bike that used to have that little freezer on the front of it? That doesn't happen anymore.
No, now it's a vehicle.
Those don't really happen too often.
No, but that used to be like in the early 90s, even 80s.
Oh, yeah.
That person used to come in with those and they didn't have an ice cream truck, but you see them come down the street and you could catch them. You could catch them. You hear them.
Yeah, you hear them coming down the street too.
Yeah, you hear them, but you could catch them. And that was the trick. Is like if you see them going, you know that all you got to do is jump on your bike and rip it, and you'll catch them. Now, when they're in a vehicle, they're gone, man. They turn out of your cul-de-sac and they rip it on 60 kilometers, 40 kilometers an hour in Edmonton, guys. But they rip it and they're gone, and you can't catch them on your bike as a kid. So that sucked, and that still sucks. But yeah. But you used to be able to catch these guys on the bike. And the best was when they're like digging in, they're like, I have no more.
They had the anticipation. The anticipation.
Oh my God. I'm like, you'd learn to approach them like, hey, do you have any of this?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I want this. And if they had it, you get even more hyped. People like, oh my God, you have it? I want all of them. How many do you have? Then they'd be like, oh, we only got one. So you'd be like, mine, dibs. If you're with your friends or cousins, dibs, right? Or if you're paying, then you're the one who gets it.
That's so true. Like everything you just said is like 100% true emotions.
Yeah, man. And then you're like, oh my god. And then you get it, and then you kind of like, oh, I wanted another. I had enough money for another one, and then you ask them to check again. And the often, very seldom thing, I remember this happened to me maybe once or twice. They're like, oh, I found one. Do you want it? And I'm like, how did you have that? You broke my heart, and then you pulled it out at the end before you leave. That means they were saving it, and they probably felt bad. Like this kid bought like 6 ice creams. Okay, fine, I'll sell him another one of those. And then by that time, you already bought the rest, so you don't have money, so you have to ask somebody.
The amount, what worries me is the amount of ice cream Pat has told us that he has eaten out. I would buy 6, like,
you don't even know.
Like 6 ice creams in one sitting, man. That's a lot.
No,
that's
it wasn't
a lot
always
of sugar.
only me, man. I mean, 90% of the time it was.
Cushy, did you ever get any of these ice creams? You're always with them.
I don't know about that, man. And I was like,
talking
only
before
just one.
he was. No, I'm talking like
his times before mine, anyways, for these things.
I'm talking like at a time that was slightly before his, mixed with times that involve him and our cousins, right? Our cousins from Vancouver, like they were part of a lot of.
Still probably too young to even get.
Cushy was often inside or playing, and I'd be the one who caught this ice cream bike, and I had to run inside and talk to somebody.
Hero.
And then if it was my dad and my cousin would be like, here's $20, get some for everybody. And then I'd be like, sweet, I'm going to get the expensive ones. And then I'm going to buy some whatever's for everybody else. And stuff like that. Don't show my dad this video. And, or my mama would be like, he'd be like, here you go. And he'd like toss me like $20 as well. And he'd be like, go get it for everybody. And I'd go and get it. And I'd be like, I'd get the milk ones and everybody else would get the water ones. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So, and kind of the cool thing that we're talking about, it kind of reminded me of like sharing with friends, family, whoever it was. One thing I remember always sharing was freezies.
Yeah.
Freezies, and then there was, I don't remember exactly. I remember we'd always get them from Superstore. They were like freezies, but they were not like flat. They were round.
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they could break into 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember, like, there's just triggered my brain.
They look like I used to take them and break the middle part and pretend they were nunchucks.
Nunchucks, exactly. Yeah.
I don't recall the round ones.
Yeah, you do.
You're just talking about the straight.
No,
like,
they look like
right?
sausage links. But
yeah.
There was only 2 in one piece.
Oh, I don't know. I honestly, I'm just remembering just a straight up, just single long tube or whatever. The like classic, and then like that might be the most versatile one, because like you just take that.
Except you'd end up cutting your mouth.
Any scenario.
Yeah, you'd always cut your mouth.
So I learned to cut.
No one had scissors, right? No one had scissors.
So I'd cut it straight, then I'd cut little angles on the edge, so it'd be like tapered.
Yeah, most people bit it off too, right?
Yeah. I remember like
to get to it.
Kids that used to go to school, they'd be like. I'd be like, what the heck are you doing?
Because like that was for sports, that was for vacations, like to anywhere. That was like that went everywhere, right? Those ones.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and then even if you were just talking about like the ice cream bikes, like I have to throw this one in. Like it's a classic for sure. Like everyone's probably had it, but the firecrackers, so simple, so economical, one of the cheaper ones, and so good. Like for a poor little kid like me, who had like bare minimum to work with, I don't think I ever got like $20 like how you got from.
No, because you never got
our
it.
Parents.
I was the older one, so it was handed to me, and I'd have to bring you something.
I never got it because they probably know what you did with it, so they're like, "We're not giving this kid any. We're just giving him like $1." And then he has to.
No, but I agree. Like those, even the simplest like the simplest fudgesicle or the firecracker, like cyclone, or like they always hit the spot. It's a hot day, no matter what it is. Like, it would always hit the spot.
Yeah, and if you were feeling a little brave, you would just get like the sour firecracker, because that was pretty good too. Depends on the palate.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say favorite flavor of freezy. This is like a hot debate that it's probably gonna get triggered because Pat's gonna say some weird flavor that didn't exist when we were growing up.
No, I'll say one that still exists. So
it changed red. Fruit punch flavor, I guess. Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah, we said favorite flavor, not favorite color.
Wasn't that just? It was just they didn't have names, did they?
Yeah, it was red.
Just.
No, you
exactly.
Cherry.
It was red.
It was red.
You literally just called them their colors. It's like blue,
the flavor is
orange.
red.
Yeah. That's literally what the flavors were. Because these didn't like come in those packages like, oh,
what color sugar do you
want? Blueberry.
Yeah, pretty
it was
much.
all because like what color was the white or what flavor was the white one? There was none. It was just white.
Cream soda.
No, it was watermelon. I don't know. Was it cream soda?
No.
We have to do some actual science.
I have a
testing.
tie
Let's go
for
get
my
some
favorite
freezies.
flavors. Okay, so it was white, which was cream soda in the good ones, and was just some like Sprite in the other ones, like a Sprite type of 7-Up.
Yeah.
But my favorite flavor I'm talking about the typical ones, right? Was white tied with blue. Okay, and blue used to often be like raspberry for some reason.
Blue raspberry.
Yeah. That's why they called it blue raspberry. But in the perfect world, when they came out with those limited time pop flavored freezies, then it was always root beer, hands down. You never had those?
I knew that was going to be your answer.
No, I'm pretty sure I did, but I just don't remember them.
Oh my God.
I don't remember them at all either.
Okay, I'll give you guys a little Easter egg. My new 2-day favorite cold treat for summertime is A&W's brand new, and a lot of people don't know about this, frozen root beer.
Yeah, frozen thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Really, it's good.
Oh my God, I don't usually have sugary beverages. Oh no, it's not diet.
I guess I know what I'm doing after this now.
Pick me up.
Yeah, we'll go to A&W.
Pick me up. We'll go to A&W. Yeah.
For me, it's really easy. I was like Kush, red. I don't know what red was, but very addicting. But also purple, grape.
Purple was one of my tops. Yeah.
I was a grape kid growing up. As I grew older, I turned into an orange boy. But grape was my go-to as a kid.
Orange used to come to me in like moments. Like I'd be like, okay, orange is the only popsicle left. Fine. Then I'd be like, it's not bad.
Orange was never like, you wouldn't go out of your way to get it, but like if you got it, you'd be like, all right, this is still cool. Like
that's the same thing with lollipops. It's like orange wasn't a bad lollipop. Honestly, it's like it's the same thing. Like blue lollipops wasn't really a thing, but like red and purple dominated lollipops.
Yeah,
but you never complained. You never complained if you got orange. You was like, all right, cool. Like I'm good with orange.
No, we complain.
Like yellow. You're having some conversations, but like, yeah.
I would have conversations with green.
Yeah, green was always suspect.
Yeah.
Had to be like one of the, and then it turned out that red, back in those days, the dye for red was made from something to do with a beetle and it caused a lot of people allergies. So one allergy I don't have, which a lot of people have, is to the color red in terms of its food coloring, the dye, or whatever you want to call it. And a lot of people developed allergies to that one too. I don't know why. Very strange.
Well, I don't think I went crazy with red, but it was good. So I think
red because it came from a beetle, man. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so red. That's interesting.
It is.
So
yeah,
we haven't talked at all about this, which I'm surprised. Is like the chocolate and ice cream.
Oh, I'm coming there, man.
Yeah, like Klondike bars or like the chocolate tacos.
Well, first we need to talk about one thing before we go over there. So I'm going to bridge this gap with a brand. So the actual brand Popsicle, because we're sitting here calling them Popsicles, when it was actually a brand called Popsicle, just like we call
Popsicle.
Just like we call tissues Kleenex, when it could be Softies or Scotties or whatever they're called. You know what I mean? So Popsicle, the typical Popsicle, do you guys remember these? They used to have two different kinds when I was a kid, at least. They used to have that one packet that had two pieces in there that were already broken apart. And you were never allowed to have both. You could only have one. And I used to hate those because then it means I wasn't allowed to have both. And then the second one was when it was like those two sticks in one that you could break in half or not break in half. And those were sort of the household standard popsicles. Yeah. They were like the everyday person's popsicles. And almost every person I knew had at least had those ones. And I remember a lot of my friends' parents, they were like, break it in half and hand it to us. They'd open it, like, you get this, you get this.
Well, it reminds you of like soccer too, right? Like halftime.
Those kind of days. Yeah. And then I'd be like, no, I want both. I want to do a cool thing that I do.
Honestly, I think Pat just hoarded popsicles. Like first he gets 6 popsicles when he goes to the ice cream truck. Now he's taking both popsicles from the thing. Like,
no, I had this cool trick.
He's about to explain what he does with the sticks.
Yeah, okay, check this out. So there's this one thing. So those double popsicle ones, what I used to do is I used to kind of, before anybody would look at me eating that, he's eating both, right? Even though it's one popsicle, man, it's not 2, it's 1. You broke it in half.
So wait, hold on. So if it's, are you just biting Kit Kats straight up then? Is that what's happening here? If it's just one chocolate bar.
Yeah, why not? Just go savage.
You know what? Yeah, because people did eat those popsicles like,
yeah, just straight up,
like straight up in the middle, like a straight bite. Very anti Kit Kat, but it's also very difficult to break those in half when they're frozen. Like I remember I had to use a knife,
like butter knife. Yeah.
I had to just get a knife straight out of the freezer.
Check this out. All right, so imagine a flute. It's a woodwind or instrument that is usually long, and usually you play it sideways, right? A real flute. Now, I would take this popsicle, the double sticked popsicle, that was 1 piece, by the way, for the record. It's not 2, it's 1 popsicle. I would just bite the side, like I'd take it sideways and I'd just bite one of the sides that had the stick just at the bottom until the stick was exposed. And so I'd bite the side where the stick is and then pull the stick out and toss that stick. Then I'd have this weird sort of P-shaped popsicle, right? Like the letter P or Q, depending on your perspective. And I'd be like, I only got 1. And I'd just eat it like that. And I toss
this explains a lot. This explains so much about Pat.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, man. But
hey, it's my name, P for the 1.
That's exactly what he did. We know 100% that's what he did.
You're doing
walking through the neighborhood, just showing off his pea popsicle.
I'm like, yo, check this out.
Only reason he did that was probably because he got yelled at. It's like, oh, you can't take 2.
I know. Then they only see 1 stick in my hand, and they'll probably be in my mouth. I'd be like,
you know what I didn't like. This is probably a very unpopular opinion, but I really disliked the creamsicles. So it was the popsicle, but with the cream on the inside. I did not like those.
You're helping me bridge. So the creamsicles were dependent on the flavor. Like the orange one was garbage. Like
orange one was the best one. Those are the only one I could tolerate.
That's like putting orange crush in dud. Like dud soda with orange crush. It doesn't. No, you might as well put orange.
But it was like it was ice cream though, right? So it tasted good.
It's different.
Yeah, because when you like, depends if you like licked it, then it got like melted so that when you bit, it was so soft. Then ice cream came out. It was the best.
Yeah.
And the best one for that, in my opinion, was when they gave it fruit flavors like mango creamsicles. Remember those? Best.
No.
And then, anyways, bridging.
This man has some exotic popsicles.
Man, you guys
missed out, Fish.
You guys missed.
I probably tried it. I just don't remember these. Like, no, I just remember your basic stuff.
The 80s,
exactly. The 80s, simpler the better, man. Simpler the better.
No, the 80s is when everything was there. All right, so we wanted to talk about the ice cream base. So creamsicles are a great bridge to the popsicle brand because they had the regular 2-stick popsicles or the ones that are single. And then they had the creamsicles, and then they went into the ice cream filled Revelos, which was a popsicle brand, and fudgesicles. So let's go over there to the dairy side of things, because man, my favorite was a fudgesicle. I'll tell you straight off the bat.
Straight chocolate or
straight fudgesicle, just a chocolate solid. And I didn't like them at the beginning. First, I liked the Revelos, which had the ice cream inside. Again, which used to come in the 2 single ones or the one. But the one that was double now only had 1 stick on it. Doesn't that tell you guys something? They tried cheating us as kids. So
no.
and if you get the single ones, you have to eat 2. That's the rule. So there was those, and then there was a fudgesicle.
I will not let you promote your terrible eating habits on this podcast, sir.
Oh man, this is how it went down back. Ask anybody who grew up in the 80s, late 80s, this is the rule, man. This is how it used to go down.
I think for me, though, like I think that's where my personal preference really kicks in, because I don't like fruit and ice cream or fruit and chocolate. So that's probably why I don't like the creamsicles, or I'm not a huge fan of like Ruhabza or Dud Soda. But like, which fudgesicles, like ice cream filled chocolate bars, put some peanuts on there. Like,
Nope.
Let's call it a day.
Nope.
I know you can't put peanuts on there, but like those are my jam. Those are my go-to for sure.
Yeah, man.
I feel like Kushi's coming in with something hot right now. He's warm.
Yeah, mine's like, okay, I have to take it to like the level up of like outside the popsicle or stick realm. It's like when you start talking about like the chocolate and vanilla mix and then like the crunchiness.
Remember the
DQ
Haagen-Dazs?
cake, baby. DQ cake.
Yes.
Dairy Queen cake is just, I don't think anything can ever touch that Dairy Queen cake.
Not the Blizzard one even took it to the next level.
Yeah, they're good. Those new ones, and even like the treat pizza
Not
one
the
or
new
whatever.
ones, the Blizzard ones. They were old.
Yeah, but like just a simple basic, I think that's still the best by far. Because you get your vanilla on top, you get that little chocolate layer, then you get that fudge with the cookie crumbs or whatever.
Yeah, the fudge.
Here's
was
a question for the viewers, listeners, and you guys.
So good. I didn't care about that chocolate part. Actually, I used to give away the whole bottom chocolate part, including the fudge.
Guess who ate it?
And the little cookie crumb. I gave it to either you or.
Did you guys ever?
Sister.
Here's a question for listeners included. Put in the comments, guys, or if you're viewers, I mean, listeners, you can tweet us. Did you ever buy Dairy Queen cake with no occasion just to eat the Dairy Queen cake?
I mean, as an adult, yes. As a child, no.
As an adult, yes. But I feel like that's kind of where the nostalgia kicks in, right? So when we're talking about like the ice cream truck, or we're talking about like freezies, or like we started talking about dod coke, same thing with like ice cream cake. We're like, yo, my birthday's coming up, we're gonna have ice cream cake. Like it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
And like,
because it's like it was like a little bit of a luxury, right?
Yeah,
Getting the ice cream cake, it was like that next level. Whereas like, basic cake is not too hard to get, but the ice cream cake was like, yo, yeah. And then the best was like, okay, you have that limited time to like try to go to town on it, right, before it melts.
And you gotta figure out how to cut it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, we needed the exact science of taking it out of the freezer in time so that when we need to sing the song and then he has to cut it, that it goes smooth, and then we don't have to like run the knife under the hot water for like a minute and then waste time and then push so hard. Like it was like all these little steps you had to like kind of get ready to prepare it for too, which was like, it's dumb, but it was so fun. Like it's still fun.
I like how this conversation started as like summer treats and way to stay cool, and like we're just on this nostalgia train to like.
Okay, but there's so many summer treats. So we've gone down the ice cream. Like I knew as soon as we opened the dairy side of these things up, it's gonna go into this whole thing. But I'm gonna still cycle it back after. But let's continue.
No, cycle it back. Let's go.
Well, okay. So in the dairy spectrum, before I cycle it back, there's one more sort of category I see, and this is like the more expensive. When these started coming out, I was like, oh my God, what the heck is this? And that was like those Haagen-Dazs and those like boxed ice cream popsicles,
bars.
right?
Yeah.
And the bars, whatever, right? And oh my God. Then they started making stuff like coffee crisp ice cream on a stick, sure, right? And all these other weird deviations. And then that brings us to the Oreo, which I mentioned earlier, the Oreo ice cream sandwiches. And those were like $5 each. And or like some of them were like, $4.90 something or $4.50. And those were expensive, but they were like big, like they were like chunky and like they were thick, like they're like a burger, right? And I remember as a kid riding my bike to whatever convenience store was around and seeing those, and always just wondering, because I was allergic to peanuts and stuff, right? So most of those had nuts on them, but I always used to like read the ingredients, hoping that magically one day the ingredients would change, or I'd find one that didn't have it. And I often did. Haagen-Dazs had a plain one too. And their chocolate, so they had a version of the Revel, which was ice cream inside, chocolate dipped, obviously, right? And their chocolate layer, however, was like 5, maybe 4 times as thick as a Revelo. It's like they dipped it 5 or 6 times, and it's like thick. So you have to like bite into it, and then you get ice cream. And
okay,
those things.
We've been talking for like 40 minutes, and you just mentioned convenience store, and for some reason we have not brought up Slurpees.
That's where I'm going.
How did we go so long without even bringing up?
No, I'm going there right now because that's what I said. There's one more. I'm going to bring it back, right? So out of the dairy into Slurpees, but then I'm going to take it back into Screamers, which we'll talk about after.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, popsicles aside, most of my childhood nostalgia with these summer treats involves Slurpee. Riding my bike to whatever it was, picking up Slurpees, and I used to have that holder on my bike for like a water bottle, but I had no water bottle with me.
How many Slurpees? That's what we want to know. Because like you had 6 popsicles, so were you double fisting Slurpees too? Like
I have done that, and the way to do that is you when they came up with the dome lids, that's when you could have done that. And before that, it wasn't possible because it's
this episode is just about Pat's bad eating habits. This is all this
explains a lot.
He used to be a big gulper. I actually remember it.
Yeah, and you would put it in the plastic bag, in the big gulp with a dome lid. Put it in the plastic bag, and then you can hold it while you're riding your bike. Plus, have an extra one if you want a different flavor in your bike water bottle holder. That was the trick.
So my question is, would you mix?
Okay,
would you mix Slurpees or single Slurpee?
I would do both. Mixing would only be if they were really like I was really in a position where I wanted 2 different flavors. Then I'd mix them. I'd put the favorite of the 2 at the top, which I, in theory, was like, oh, that's my favorite flavor. I'll get that last, but it'd be dried up by that point. So I learned quickly to just stick with single and just try and maybe get a small.
And I never learned that lesson. I would always mix.
I was always a mixer. Yeah.
New flavor? Yeah, that's going in first.
Even more so now my favorite popsicle of all times is the Rocket, just to throw that out there. It was that blue, white, and red one. So when the clear Slurpee cups came, and if there was ever anything that I can make a Rocket popsicle out of in terms of a Slurpee, I would do that. And it was more fun to do with the clear Slurpee cups. But back in my day when it was just a wax cup and it was just like that normal cup, you can mix it, but it wouldn't be visually appealing. It wouldn't look cool. Then I had buddies who used to go with me. They would ride their bikes with me. And they would just mix everything. They'd be like, yeah. Right.
What are you doing? Like, make it look pretty.
Yeah. And then it looked like slime green. They call it, it's called sludge. And I'd be like, okay. And I'm going to keep in mind, we're in grade 4 or 5 here, right? And I'd be like, and then I'd try it and it'd be like very Sprite-ish. Like the Sprite would come and leak out of everything. And I'd be like, what the hell? Right? Like, what is
looks
this?
like Ecto Cooler and it just
it looked like ectoplasmic mutagen. And I'd be like, they're like, we're the swamp thing. You're gonna drink that. And we'd be kids, we're imagination. If I drink this, I'm gonna turn into a Ninja Turtle. Man, these were the days.
The liquid ooze.
But the best Slurpee was root beer.
Root beer? I think grape was pretty good.
Grape was solid.
Like the grape crush. But I had Slurpees and I had like a decent amount, but I actually don't like Slurpees.
Why?
It's a weird thing. It's just frustrating to drink them too. Because they just, you only get like half and then it's like done. And then you have to do all that maintenance work.
I just keep thinking, Old Man Kush is coming out again.
He's just angry.
Dude, you gotta like move the straw back and forth all the time. You
There's
gotta
the problem.
Shake it or whatever.
You gotta understand the machine. When you pull that thing to get the Slurpee out and you don't stop until your Slurpee cup is full, you screwed up. What you gotta do is go quarter by quarter. Quarter, let go, shake it, tap it, but also the machine resets. Because it always shoots a little bit of syrup at the beginning. So then the machine resets too, and you get more.
So, Kush, we're going to 7-Eleven after.
Keep it hydrated.
Right? We're going to 7-Eleven after.
Well hydrated, even though your blood turns into syrup. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the trick, guys. Like, I'm an old school OG with the Slurpees. I'm telling you.
Well, it's because he was too busy hogging all the popsicles and double fisting the big gulps, bro.
I used to be late for elementary school. Because I would often go and had too much stuff to carry to get back. And I wouldn't be able to ride my bike. I'd have to walk it because I had like too many Slurpees. It was good times, man.
Yeah.
So there's one thing we're forgetting, and let's go into it quick.
There's another whole kind of bracket we haven't even touched that I want to.
Yeah, I know what you're going to
shout out for.
Go into it.
Go into it. It's the healthier shit, man. Where is
hold on.
baby?
We'll save that for the end. I got one more thing.
Okay. Okay,
so
fine.
then there was a Ready Mart that was by Singh Sabha Gurdwara by Pizza 99. Shout out to Pizza
Screamers,
99.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Screamers, yeah.
Screamers.
Yeah.
And I didn't discover these until I was a little bit older because I don't know why, but they used
I
to
just don't think they were around until late. Like even for us, we didn't discover them until we were older.
But I only discovered it at that location. A lot of other places didn't have it. Then they caught on, I guess. And so what they used to do is they used to take soft serve ice cream and mix it into your Slurpee. And oh my goodness, would you have a hard time drinking that out of their straws? So you'd often have to get like a spoon with it.
It was good. It was really good.
A lot of sugar. That's a lot of sugar in different forms. But
I think that's the subtitle for this entire topic.
We should have got Diabetes Canada to sponsor this video.
Yeah,
and everybody uncovers why.
That's a Screamer's deadly for sure, and it's still around today for sure. But like that was like not something everyone was like.
I wasn't a fan of that. I was also not a fan of those. Again, it goes back to the mixing the milk with the fruit. I was not a fan. So I think that's just me though. I'm just weird like that.
But I think that you can't.
Speaking of fruit,
can't go with the fruity flavors with the Screamers.
Speaking of fruit, why have we not talked about watermelon as a nice summer treat? Nice cold watermelon.
Now it is
nice cold.
When I was a kid, I didn't care for that, man.
Oh, even as a kid, man, I would love watermelon.
But we're talking about now as well, right? Like, for me, it's mango, dude.
Yeah,
like,
cold mango.
I am a mango-aholic. It's obviously in season during summer times, so
you're in season.
Okay, we started giving it to our puppy Mutzi. Like he loses his mind when he gets mango too. like mango is like, oh my god, it's just so perfect. I just think there's no better fruit than that for sure. And then
I'll keep my opinion to myself.
Oh,
I'll keep my opinion to myself on mango.
But here's the trick: if you guys want to know a hack, you can buy frozen mango.
Feel free.
Buy frozen mango and just eat it on a hot day. Just frozen, eat it.
Those like cut up chunks.
Yeah,
I don't like those at all because they do not taste like remotely close to mango, in my opinion.
I'm talking about a cool treat for a cool.
Again, I know watermelon,
but it's
watermelon.
Well, no, I'm not dissing watermelon, but look at everything else we just talked about. But watermelon,
watermelon's
up there for me.
You probably have it regularly, but some people don't. Some people have that just for summer, right? Because it's like so nice and hydrating too.
Has anybody, and I heard about this, I've never tried it. I mean, just a real question. Has anybody ever put salt on their watermelon? Like, is that a thing? Like, I heard about that from somebody the other day.
I know it's a thing, but I haven't tried it.
Because watermelon is so hydrating. If you put salt on it, it helps.
Honestly, though, like in the summertime, any cold fruit is good. Like you have like cold grapes or like a nice apple. I sound like such an old man. I sound like such an old man talking right now, but like
but it's so true. Like it's so good.
Yeah,
you can't beat fruits. Like they're just like
I remember like playing soccer. Like you would have orange slices at the break, and if they were cold, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is it.
Yeah,
this is what
that's like the number one soccer snack.
No, but sometimes they'd be warm.
And they'd be cut, so you'd have to have the peel in there. And I'd pretend
they'd be warm because they'd bring them at the start of the game, right? It was only like those
you'd have those parents.
Some parents would show up in halftime.
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, "Okay, when's the game start? Okay, I'll show up here. It's gonna be nice."
Or they're bringing them in a cooler. Yeah.
The best is when you're off, like you're subbed or it's halftime, and there's oranges and you're eating them, and you're getting pretty full. But then a new parent shows up with cold ones, and you switch, and you're like, "Oh my god!" It's best, man.
We're learning a lot about Pat. This is
because I played soccer before this guy, man. This guy was like a baby, and I was playing soccer. And
were you playing soccer or just eating all the fruits?
No, I was definitely eating. I was definitely on the sidelines eating the fruits.
This reminds. Okay, there's a very obscure reference, but there's a Simpsons episode where they show Ned Flanders as a kid, and he's just beating up all the other kids. That's what I picture Pat doing. Like the kid has an orange, he just goes up and just beats him up, steals his orange. Like I just picture Pat doing.
No, man, I just wasn't good at soccer, and I didn't. My coach didn't put me on, so the parents were like, "Hey, you want some oranges?" I'd be like, "Yeah." So I eat the oranges. I used to have a lot of vitamin C. The other kids didn't.
So
okay,
this has been an interesting episode. We started as like talking about summer treats, wrapping up summer. Just, I think it's interesting that we all have different perspectives and different nostalgia that kind of triggered for us.
Oh wait! But hold up.
One. Okay, I won't wrap it up then.
You do not wrap up yet, my friend. Especially Malik, because you were a part of this. Kushi, you were a part of this. When we got older and we decided that we were now going to get addicted to a substance known as caffeine, then came the ice cap. When you injected coffee into your cold dairy-based treats, all right? And then after the ice cap, if anybody remembers them, I don't even know if they still exist, Dairy Queen upped it with their Mocha Moo Latte, which was just insanity with caffeine in it. I just want to throw that out there because Malik, you used to.
In a latte mix.
It was more.
I actually never have had.
It was more like a milkshake based.
Yeah, no
ice cap.
Ice cap, I can definitely attest to on a hot day.
Ice cap,
but I mean, if we're talking nostalgia, I don't think I'd give any kids any. They're already hyper enough, so stay away from the caffeinated beverages.
Well, I mean, society has changed. Like, look at all the sugar I ingested as a kid. Like
you alone clearly hogging all the popsicles.
Clearly, but at the same time, like I used to put them in my pockets and they'd melt. I learned that quick too. Like I got popsicles. No, I don't. But whatever. But the thing is, like, you know, these days when you get older and you have these new caffeine based treats, ice caps hit. And I haven't had one in a long time. But did you know, a lot of people do know this, a lot of people don't know this. You can substitute an ice cap's cream base for milk, which often feels colder in summer. And if you really want to get diabetic, you can substitute it for chocolate milk.
Yeah, you actually told me that one. And I did.
You can also get it without dairy. You can get it dairy free. Just a side note, and it's still ice cap. You can get it dairy free too.
The only thing with the ice caps is I had the same issue as like slushies. They just wouldn't completely finish. You had to work so damn hard if you wanted to finish your cup of ice cap. Which is why I probably nowadays why I've transitioned to iced coffee instead.
Okay, so
probably
one more thing.
Trauma.
Have you ever filled a bucket with the water on full blast and noticed all the bubbles in the bucket? That's the problem with Slurpees and ice caps. You can't pour it at full speed. You gotta
but you're not pouring the ice cap. You just get
you gotta say
because she's putting.
Can you pour this?
No, they're not gonna listen.
No, be like, pour it slowly. I don't want bubbles.
No, silence says it all.
just silence. So let us know in the comments below, what is your go-to or your top 3 summer treats? I think it's interesting that we were able to come out with chocolate, but also like the complete opposite of like fruit. Fruit hits the spot too.
Oh yeah.
It's definitely interesting to see how it's evolved over time. Like ice caps, iced coffees are now very popular. Cold brew coffees are very popular now too. So there's only a few weeks left in summer. So make sure you utilize this time to take these summer beverages and treats.
And just to kind of just to jump in, I used to have ice caps all the time in winter too. I didn't care. But I did recently make a tweet just to kind of help you end the show. When I grew up, watermelon used to always have black or dark seeds in there. What happened?